Yeah, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Deco Graphic Design Training. I believe we're all doing great today. This morning, I want to show you how you can create a church program flyer on your Android smartphone using your Pixellab. In this tutorial, you are going to learn a lot of tips. One, you learn how to create a presentable church flyer as the major goal. Second thing, you learn how to combine different fonts. To achieve this, you will learn how blending work. Do a mini blending on your Android smartphone. Lastly, you will learn how to combine color and how you can use a gradient as a pro. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started. The first thing is to determine the background size. So you go to the right upper corner, click on the three line dots, then you select the size. As you can see, the size I want to use, both the width and the height, is 1280 by 1280. This can be regarded as a square size, while the height and the width will be the same in length or in size. After setting this, then you click OK. Now, heading back to your gallery. I want to heading back to my gallery, then bring in the background which I want to use. This already gotten, and only little was manipulated here, the one at the bottom here, which is what we call a rough paper. This was done behind the screen by using an application called PSCC. It took me almost 15 minutes to achieve all this blending, which I was thinking to make everything easy, and I'm going to share it so that you can use them in any of your design. This particular image was gotten on Google as well. I blend it using an overlay tools for it to be able to reflect a particular communication, showing a particular communication as church is concerned. After this has been achieved, then you go back to your gallery, put in the logo of your choice. Now, after putting the logo of the church, then the next thing, you put in the name of the church. Holy Hope. Holy Hope. Okay. Then you go back to the font type. Then you select a font. It depends. You can click use an archival board. After using that, you can reduce the size very well, increase, reduce to your text, and position it beside it. You can make it bigger since we still have something to be putting below it. So we say Holy Hope International. Then you go back to the font, select archival that is not as bold as the previous one. After selecting it, make sure you make the two to be aligned together. This will make it look more uniform and more presentable. After you do that, manually use your eye as a demarcation to position it very well. Now lock the two. The images selected to make it align properly so at it's good like this. After that has been done, we still need to copy the international because we need to continue using that font. After selecting it, then we type present, which means this church presents what? A program relating to church. So you make sure that it aligns at this juncture as well, but let it move a little bit to this particular area. The spacing is so cool, not actually bad. Why will make sure it increase a little bit. At the same time, make sure that it fits and align properly. You can make it a little bit more closer to the logo. While this has been achieved, you make sure you lock, then edit, and you put in there 72. Okay. After that, we'll go in there and look at the Archivo that is actually bold, more enough than others, and this could be cool. After that, increase the size, have a place to position it around here, make it set in properly. After positioning like that, increase the size very well. This is cool. Then go back to uh the space the letter, line spacing, space the letter. Okay. Now you can look at the line spacing. So the words, we look at the space here, that's word spacing. Okay. After selecting that, we can actually increase it to make it stay fitting. After you're able to achieve that, make sure you make it align as it's indicated like this. The spacing between the digits should be a little bit positioned. After that, we are going to use a gradient color which already blend. So we are using this, combine the turkey yellow all together, and this is how it was achieved. You can see they will combine both the deep and orange and the yellow together to achieve this. When you're able to do that, you can um go back to the color while you select yellow separately as a kind of stroke given to this. Sorry. So we'll go to the stroke. So we are going to select this and to make it cool. After that, go back to the text area. So you put hours, that is 72 hours. After putting that, then we go to the font called Moon House. Selecting a moon house, have a position underneath. Remember one thing, when you are making your design, make sure it align. What do we call alignment? Alignment is ability of an individual to make each object or text in one particular design to set both the left, the right, to be aligned whether to the left, the right, or to the center. If this is achieved, you can see it will be uniform, and it will be more attractive and more communicative than you expect. After that, position. Don't forget the alignment. If your eyes are not too sharp to discover the alignment, just click on the grid here, then you tap here, move it to serve as a ruler or a guide so that you will not or you will not mistakenly let one go exceed one another, and that will be much cool. Now that you are able to position this, we'll go back. Then uh we need to use gradient as well. You can copy, just tap on this one, which is cool, right? You can increase it like this by moving all this arrow to a deeper area. When you're able to do that, tap on the second keyframe. uh you use your color picker, still pick. Okay. After you pick, make it a little bit more lighter than the previous one. So now select this, but when you look at it, it's not really light, so you can make it like this. While you go to the second one, make it bold than you ever thought. After that, your position, and this is achieved. After this has been achieved, you move this one closer a little bit. Then you go back to the text area. We still need to use this international because of the font is somewhat lighter. You don't want to use the hard font. Then you put in the write-up called breakthrough. After putting it, then you copy, increase the size a little bit, then have it position around there. This is cool. Perfect. When you're able to do that, we are going to copy ours. Then we put what we call a prayers. So let's say we say prayer. Then you copy, reduce the size a little bit. That will be perfect. Then you position. While you maintain the alignment, you don't allow it to move beyond the left and the right. When you're able to do that, things is cool. Perfect. Then you position each wall. Go back to the front. I have a gradient which I will need to be combined here, and it will be cool. So make it the blue to be more lighter, while the second one is more lighter as well, so that it can show. Don't make let allow it to blend with the background. Otherwise, the information you are passing will be useless. And when you look at it, this is cool. After that, we go back to the text area. While we have everything locked at our tips, then we go to let's say we go to Only Hope, we copy, then put in the date and time. That will be cool. So I have a date, and then after that, I have what we call a time. Okay, good. Then when you're able to have that, you reduce the size to your own text and have a position by maintaining the alignment properly. When you are able to do that, then you put in what? Just put in by copying the 72, because that is having a bigger font and bold. Then we'll put in 26th. So we'll say 26 to 28. Okay, 28 May. Sorry, 28 August. Then that is cool. Opposition. Remember to reduce the size to your own text. That will be perfect. After reduction, we need to adjust, but to make sure, the first thing to do is to position it first and see how it look. After that, the spacing between the alphabet should be removed. Okay. After that, then we'll go to the stroke, remove the stroke attached. After that, everything seemed to be cool. Change the color, change it to white. It will make sense because of the background that is there. After that, we need to put a kind of a demarcation. But instead of that, you can use the previous color for this. It will make it look more presentable. When you're able to do that, we are still going to copy the same thing while we put in the time, while we have our 9 p.m. Okay, 9 p.m. So just put 9 p.m. Okay, perfect. Then that will be positioned around here. This is amazing. When you're able to do that, then the next thing you are going to do is to copy the nearly bold font, which can actually go for this. So we say each night. Okay, perfect. Then we reduce the size properly while we're going to position this here. Okay, good. But make sure it's aligned properly. Okay, good. Position it well. Just give it a color of your choice. So take it for instance, I want to give it this color so that it will be able to come out well. After this has been done, then I need to position to do a kind of a demarcation. So going to the sticker, I should be able to look at a line which can actually work for me. So I've seen one. I will tap OK. Then use the crop to uh, trim it out. While we have this, it's cool. Then I need to use a shadow, gradient, at this point by combining as much as possible color together for my own test. Okay, so after position that, then let it shred. Then I will have this, add more, minus, add one more keyframe for color bucket. Then use the color picker, select this, make sure it's somehow lighter so that it can be obvious. Now we have three and all the three are showing. So when you have that, we can have one again at the mouth of this. So having this at the mouth, remove this or you change it how it look. So I'm going to use the yellow stuff for this particular one. Okay, perfect. So you can see how I combine the four color for this. After that has been done, underneath the time, I need to place one there as a kind of a demarcation. So just position one around here. So when you're able to do that, everything will seem to be cool. Increase it and don't let it exceed. Now manually adjust to make it more uniform. You position another one under the date. We'll position one here. Okay, perfect. You can bring it down a little bit so that you give a breathing space between the two. Match the each night and the 9 p.m. together. Then you move them at once by leaving a space in between. Yes. So when you select that, the rest are so cool. You can still adjust the line a little bit to move little far away from the uh, uh, the depth. Why you do the same to the second one? That will be cool, right? So after selecting that, then the next thing we need to do is to look at and observe it very well for us to be able to get an accurate mark. For the date, I'm not really pleased with this. I can automatically align using another color which I just apply. Then you are going to make sure it align without being forfeited. Okay, so just go to the date and time, then you manually adjust it to make it uniform. When you are able to do that, you can tell how your stuff look like. Going back to the gallery this time around, then select this particular icon, position it around this place, have it lock and some others. Then you go back to the gallery, you think about the image which you want to use. I prefer using this image. It will actually go along with it very well. As you can see, I will lock it. After locking it, then what is the next thing to do is to put in a kind of a arrow, the marketing arrow. So putting it at the bottom here would be the best. You might be wondering how all my elements are perfectly fit to where I want it to fit. Yes, it will be like that because some assignments were done at the back of the screen to make sure the sizes which I want to use are actually aligned with, are actually the same or will be aligned with whatever the kind of shape or object which I want to use. After this has been done, then the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure this one is aligned. After making it align properly, then you are going to uh, adjust and crop this particular shape. Use your radius a little bit. After that, change the color by using a gradient to change it. Okay, after changing the color, you can remove as many as you want. So take it for instance, we are going to tap on 72. This is where I want to tap the color since the one I selected before has gone. So I will just remove or move it a bit. It will create a new one for me. So I will come back to that shape which I'm talking about, then using the color which I've already suggested at the initial stage, I would go back to the edit by reducing this. After reducing it, we look at it should be able to take what we call host. So when you are able to do that, you go in back to the structure shape, which is an arrow. So move it out and let it show as a kind of demarcation. Now copy the date. Then you go to the text and type host. When you are able to do that, you come in here. Don't change the color of the text. You position it well because the background of this shape is as the same as deep. Why the whatever color you want to select to place on it have to be lighter. It's light enough. White is part of the light color. So when you're able to do that, then we have to put the name of the pastor. So the name of the pastor, let's say it's Bishop. You might know the pastor anyway, but this is just for educational purpose. Bishop T.D. Jakes, or let's say Charles. Okay, Charles. Then this is where we're going to combine more than one font at the same time. So if you want to use different fonts from Bishop TD, we're going to select it at the top. While we go to the achiever, the one that are somehow bold, we're going to give it. The Charles will take the bold font. Okay, so let's say Charles took this, while Bishop TD took the bold one. Now the 2 is going to be reduced. We are going to the color area. We change the color to black, but the perfect thing is to make sure it's aligned properly. So once you are able to make it align properly, then we go back to the text area. We are going to put we're going to put the address. So let's say at the church at the church auditorium. Okay, at the church auditorium, let's say Lagos. So having this, you have to make sure that this is set properly as well. Okay, so and in order to set this, we need to think about the font we want to use. So I'm going there. The font I want to use shouldn't be bold enough, so but it will still showcase everything we want it to represent. So after that, just make sure that everything is being aligned properly. So the church auditorium, reduce the size while you manually moving and adjust it to this particular place. Okay, perfect. So now that we have this, we say have the still reduce the size. While you move it towards here. Okay, perfect. Now we go to the shape. I believe we are moving, right? We are just use 23 minutes. So achieving this will be the great under 25 minutes, creating this amazing flyer. So position this, don't let it touch ground. So position it around that place, let it be wide enough. Then we'll go back to the font. Okay, so when you get to the font, so what is the next thing to do? The color, just copy, use your color picker and you copy this color. Then you are going to select this particular area, so send it to the back. Then everything you are able to do under this, both the host, both this and the one you selected here, including the address, move it up a little bit. Just move it up. So very cool. Then the address should be moved up a little bit as well, but don't forget about the alignment. After you are able to do that, we can now put the our quote. So let's say we want to use this quote. We just say the blessing of God, or let's say the blessing of the Lord awaits you here. Okay, reduce the size very well. So when you reduce the size, don't say because the shape is still the rest. You now allow it to overlap the boundary. The uniformity will be spoiled at that level, and everything will not be presentable or having k-leg. So you need to monitor that, and you follow the alignment very well. So here we are actually done with everything, and as you can see, this is just a simple way to create a church flyer of your choice on a low-key. You learn about the font combination, you learn about the texture, how it works. Then you learn about how you can apply two different fonts on a single sentence, on a single words. Then you learn uh, how you can think of the images which can go along with whatever you're actually doing. And I believe we learn something from here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, the blessing of the Lord shape should be changed. Let's say to white, because the color which we use are not really show there. So now everything seems to be cool. Thanks for watching. This is being achieved under 26 minutes. God bless you. Make sure you save your work as an ultra, and don't forget the format should be in PNG. Thanks for watching once again. God bless you. Have a blessed day ahead.